Have you ever wondered why some stories just grab you and refuse to let go, while others, well, they just fizzle out? It's not magic, it's a craft. Today, we're unlocking a powerful toolkit, a set of real, proven techniques to make your stories magnetic, memorable, and, yeah, unskippable. Okay, let's dive in.
That's the big question, isn't it? With literally everyone fighting for eyeballs, just having a good idea isn't going to cut it anymore. You need a blueprint. You have to understand the actual architecture of attention itself, and that is exactly what we are going to break down right now. So we're going to tackle 3 core pillars of great storytelling. First up, how to architect the actual foundation of your narrative. Then we'll get into mastering the music of your message through rhythmic delivery. And finally, we'll talk about how to find that unique voice that makes the story unmistakably yours.
All right, let's start with that foundation. The most captivating stories you've ever seen, they aren't happy accidents. They are engineered. They follow a very specific structure that's designed to hook the human brain and keep it locked in from the first second to the absolute last.
This brings us to a really cool idea called the dance. You see, great stories have this natural rhythm. First, you give some context. You set the scene, you tell us what a character wants, and then bam, you introduce conflict, an obstacle, a challenge. This creates an open loop in your viewer's mind, a question that they just need to have answered. You resolve it with a bit more context, only to hit them with another conflict. It's this constant push and pull that keeps us glued to the screen.
So, how do you actually create this dance? Well, here is a brilliant, super tactical rule from some of the best storytellers out there. Every single beat of your story should be connected to the next one by either the word but or therefore. But throws in a conflict, therefore shows a consequence. This works like a charm because our brains are literally wired for cause and effect. This simple structure turns a boring list of events into a compelling chain reaction that's almost impossible to look away from.
Now here's another foundational principle, and I'll admit, it's gonna sound a little backwards. The strongest stories, they're actually built from the end to the beginning. Before you write a single word of your intro, you have to know exactly where you're going to land.
Think of it like this. It's a backward blueprint. Step 1, define your final line. What's that one single memorable takeaway you want to leave your audience with? Once you have that, step 2 is to define your opening line. And then, and only then, do you build the middle, using that awesome but and therefore dance to create a clear path from your killer opening to your unforgettable ending.
Okay, let's shift gears to our second pillar. A great story isn't just about the structure, it's about the delivery. It's about the rhythm and the pacing that can either, pull the brain in or bore it into clicking away. It's about writing music, not just words. Just listen to how this sounds. This sentence has 5 words. Here are 5 more words. 5-word sentences are fine, but several together become monotonous. You hear that? It just drones on. You can almost feel your own attention starting to drift, can't you? It's just flat.
Okay, now listen to the difference here. I vary the sentence length and I create music. The writing sings. It has a pleasant rhythm, a lilt, a harmony. I use short sentences, and I use sentences of medium length. You feel that? It's so much more engaging, right? It's that variety that keeps the brain hooked. And sometimes, when I am certain the viewer is rested, I will engage them with a sentence of considerable length, a sentence that burns with energy and builds with all the importance of a crescendo, making them feel the momentum and telling them to listen to this because it is important. So here's the takeaway, and it's super practical. Go look at your own scripts. Seriously, look at the shape of the text. Does it look like a solid block where every line is pretty much the same length, or does it have a jagged edge? That jagged edge is your visual proof that you've created a dynamic, unpredictable rhythm that will keep your audience right there with you. Okay, so you've got a rock-solid structure and a compelling rhythm. But in a sea of content, how do you actually stand out? Well, that brings us to our final section, finding your unique voice. This is the stuff that separates a good story from a truly unforgettable one. Let's be real. In a world where every topic seems to be covered, finding a unique topic is next to impossible. But what is possible is finding a unique angle, or what we can call a story lens. Think of a popular topic like a plain beam of light. Your story lens is the prism that bends that light, revealing a whole spectrum of colors and insights that nobody else is showing their audience.
This is a perfect example to make it concrete. When Taylor Swift was at the Super Bowl, the common lens, the easy story, was all about her reactions or what she was wearing. But a more unique lens, the one that really stands out, would be to analyze the precise economic impact her presence had on the NFL. See? Same topic, completely different, and way more interesting story. That's the power of a unique lens.
Now, beyond your angle, your tone is absolutely critical. The storytellers that feel the most engaging feel like they're right there with you. How do they do that? They're not talking at a big, faceless audience. They're talking with a friend. When you write and record your stuff, just imagine you're explaining it all to one specific person you know really well. This simple little shift creates an intimacy that builds a genuine connection.
And finally, we have to talk about those first few seconds, the hook. This is where your voice has to grab attention instantly. There are two big keys here. First, your words. Be direct, punchy, tell people exactly what the story is about. No more vague, clickbaity questions. And second, and honestly this is even more powerful, your visuals. Our eyes process information so much faster than our ears. A strong visual that confirms your topic in the very first second is way more effective than any words you can say.
So, the crucial takeaway for a modern hook really boils down to this simple mantra. Don't just tell them what your story is about, show them instantly. A strong visual hook paired with a crystal clear verbal promise, that's the 1-2 punch that stops the scroll.
So let's put this all together, from the deep architecture of your narrative to the music of your words and all the way to the specific techniques that make your story uniquely yours. This whole blueprint is now in your hands.
So here it is, your complete storytelling toolkit. Architect your story using that but and therefore framework. Write with a jagged edge to create rhythmic variety. Find your unique story lens so you can stand out from the crowd. Develop that conversational tone by just talking to a friend. And finally, hook your audience with crystal clear words and powerful, immediate visuals.
Look, these aren't just abstract theories. These are practical, actionable tools you can start using today, right now. The only question left is the one you see on the screen. You have the tools. So what story will you choose to build?